call yourself a Christian and you smoke them big old cigars and drink the whiskeys. How come you're not a pussy like everybody else? What's up, everybody? I'm Barrett, BarrettIndependent.com. It's Thursday, where you ask me good questions and I'll answer them. If you ask me dumb questions, I'll ban you. It is the 1st of September, 22. And the rules are as follows. We're all going to be nice to each other. We're not going to waste anybody's time around here. We're not going to engage in arguments in the comments. We're not going to emote our feels all over the iPhones and the Androids. If you have a question to ask, you will put it in all capitals. And if I want to, I will answer it. If I see it, I might answer it. If I don't see it, I won't answer it. And if somebody with a blue wrench before their name answers your questions in the comments, your questions have been answered. Are we good?
Yeah, man, we're super good.
All right, cool, guys. Why do you guys sound like that?
We don't know.
All right, good talk, everybody. By the way, in our continuing theme of Oklahoma's finest outhouse, look at that back there. Look at that. Look at that. Live edge pine boards that we milled ourselves. Come on. There we go.
You can do it.
You know what? Who cares? Best information, worst production quality. So, wow, Purdy, thank you. What does it mean to be the priest of the home? That means that you lead the instruction and the word in your home. You are the conduit for provision, protection, blessing from the Father to the people within your home. You let your yes be yes and your no be no. You are responsible for everything that goes on in your home. You read the Torah, you understand it, you bear the burdens of supporting the people that you love. You instruct people, and you don't take any shit. But you also don't objectify and subject your wife and children to horrendous horse shit either. What's up, Alex Giles?
Oh, snap.
Nice outhound. What's up, D-Neck? A Little Bent Homestead. What do you see happening in the next 90 days? SHTF event. JD Paul, you're not paying attention hard enough. We're in SHTF. We've been in SHTF for a couple, 3 years now. As far as what do I see happening in the next 90 days? Increased food shortages, increased inflation, a lower availability of fuel, which will lead to increased civil unrest likelihood. Let's see, what else? Political unrest possible leading up to November and the elections. Probably continue to slog it out NATO versus Russia on battlefield Ukraine. Probably less likely now than we were a month ago with China invading Taiwan. But, you know, we'll see. They reserve the right to be stupid. And maybe some North Korean missile launches. But I'm not a prophet. I don't know. I just think I might know. Florida Man Prepper, what's up, man? How's Phelps doing? He's doing good. I just saw him today. He's been on the road teaching people how to not die. We were breaking tourniquets on the video that we put up earlier today. Day 1 of National Preparedness Month. How to break tourniquets. So, he's doing great. Let's see. How are things this evening? They're good. They're well. Any tips or advice on doing Sukkot with a newborn baby? Wife's due October. We have a 7-year-old and we go camping quite a bit, but have never went camping with a new baby. Bring comfort stuff. And remember, you got work days in the middle there. So, like, first day's a high holy day, last day's a high holy day. You'll have 1, if not 2 weekly Shabbats in there, depending upon the year. So that gives you 4 or 5 days that is like totally like you praise Yah, you worship Him, you have a blast, but you can also like go do stuff. And so if you need to go get some diapers or some wipes, or you need to hold the baby for an hour while it sleeps so mom can get some sanity and take a shower and get the baby puke out of her hair, maybe you need to do that as well. What about you? You've had more babies than me. You want to answer this question? What do you think?
I was gonna say, like, babies at that young of an age are just gonna really sleep.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna be pretty easy. Have a baby monitor so that, like, you can, leave the baby in the tent and be outside, or leave the baby outside and be inside.
Leave the baby outside. That was like wild dingoes come running by the tent.
But they're gonna sleep, and when they're not sleeping, they're gonna eat. But they don't really like stay awake.
Yeah, it's
A
true.
lot.
They don't do a lot
No.
that first month or so.
If
Right,
it's too
they're-
hot, get some AC. If it's too
Right. Put
whatever,
a fan on them.
Yep.
Yeah, depending on
Extra
where
blankets if it's
Hell yeah.
cold. But it'll be pretty easy. I wouldn't fret too much.
Yeah, in fact, that's maybe the easiest time to dress a coat with a baby is when they're brand new like that.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, pillows. All the pillows.
Pillows,
Miss
all
Dudley
the
said.
pillows. Lovely. What else we got in the comments?
I asked people what they were doing to get prepared this month, and Blue Hackle Mafia said putting up more fencing for cows and sheep, and Sanctified Supply Co. said trying to get our wood stove in order, and some others. People are doing the things.
That's good.
And that's
Yeah, we
our
still have to
choice.
get our wood stove. Why is it still on me?
You were talking. Go on. Keep talking.
But we still have to get our wood stove in. That's on my to-do list before winter strikes. And so it's got its spot cleared out. I know where it's going. Stovepipe is close to it-ish. So we're going to get it in. What else do we got?
So, somebody asked me, when do I think the two witnesses will appear? The answer to that is somewhere around Revelation 11, verse 6. Right there.
Mhm.
These possess authority to shut off the heavens so that no rain falls in the days of their prophecy, and they possess authority over waters to turn them to blood, and to smite the earth with all plagues as often as they wish. So, there's lots of stuff that happens, unequivocally happens, not like, ooh, I wonder if that's a judgment. Like, there's no wondering. That's one of the things I hate about interpretation of biblical end times prophecy, aka eschatology, when people are like, oh, Russia and Ukraine could be Gog and Magog. It could be. It might be. We're not going to wonder, oh, I wonder if this is the end of the world. Could it be the end of the world? I wonder if it is. We're going to be like, well, we're here now. We're here now. Yep, 3 demons who appeared as frogs came out of that guy's mouth. Yep, we're in chapter 17 now. Oh, well, no, there's guys spitting fire from the Temple Mount in Jerusalem, killing people with their mouths. We're in chapter 11 now. So, I'm a biblical literalist, and I realize that, like, most people don't love that, and most of the time, I don't care if you love it or not. It always makes me super interested when people are like, the dang old Constitution says shall not be infringed. Biblical, or they're constitutional literalists, and I'm like, yeah, I agree. I'm like, but what does the Bible say? A law forever throughout all your generations and all your dwellings. Like, it's done away with. So we can be constitutional literalists, but not biblical literalists? Okay, cool, because the Constitution's your savior, right? That's how you're going to be redeemed. You're washed in the blood of Thomas Jefferson. Okay, roger that. I hate it when that bear guy says shit that makes me feel all the emotes.
What do you want?
Suggestion on building a composting toilet with urine diverter. So I divert all my urine to pine trees, and then you poop in the bucket, and you sprinkle some freaking, what do you call it stuff? Peat moss on the
Peat
top of
moss.
it. Good to go. Otherwise, empty your bucket regularly.
And bury it.
And bury it. Or do a human manure pile, but you need like
It becomes
pallets
so
and
buried.
stuff. Yeah. Human manure, like, there's definitely, thank you, Rain Cat, lovely outhouse. That's how you know you're amongst the bear nation, right?
Yeah.
Nice shitter, bro. Like, that thing looks awesome. It really does
Bobby
look
shit.
awesome.
Oh, it's amazing.
We are,
Yeah, it looks great.
we have decided
Yeah.
all the pine
Lovely
trees
thing.
over this way are
Oh,
coming
goodness.
down and getting
Yeah.
milled into siding, and we're doing our whole house
The army
like
totally put
that.
this out yesterday for this.
My wife is like, "Yep, we're killing all these trees. We're doing it. They're coming down."
I can't wait.
You don't have pasture land.
I've been arguing with her for half a decade about that. She's like, "No, I want to keep the trees. You stick some boards up on the side of the thing." She's like, "That's it. Kill them all." I
I'm gonna
love
do
it.
some floor joists first, okay?
Yeah, I
Some
know.
decking.
I know. We got projects.
Your project's a project.
They do. They do. And they're ever changing.
Mm-hmm.
What is the best physical version of the Torah? I have a copy of the scriptures from Grindstone, but I wondered if there was another version that is Torah specific. I'm new and want to explore it. The Torah just means the first 5 books of the Bible: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. Be careful to not add to or take away from this word. That's an Old Testament thing, and a lot of people say, well, that's all some Jewish shit. That's all done away with. Jesus nailed that shit to the cross. I don't got to do that. My swine fondling pastor told me that Sunday morning right before the Cowboys game. Okay, well, let's all flip with me to Revelation chapter 22. 22 right here, where it says, out of the mouth of Yeshua, aka Jesus, the last book of the Bible, chapter 22, verse 18, for I witness to everyone hearing the words of the prophecy of this book. If anyone adds to them, Elohim, God, shall add to him the plagues that are written in this book. And if anyone takes away from the words of this book of prophecy, Elohim, God, shall take away his part from the book of life and out of the set-apart city, which is Jerusalem, by the way, which are written in this book. He that bears witness of these matters says, yes, come speedily. Amen. Yes, come, Master Yeshua. The favor of our Master Yeshua Messiah be with the set ones. Amen. The end. That's the end of the book. So it's almost like closing thoughts. Don't add shit to the story. Also, don't take shit away from the story. Or me, Messiah, me speaking as Messiah now, will verily F you up. And you won't be allowed to hang out with God forever. Okay?
But once saved, always saved.
Oh, no. Once saved, always saved is horse shit. Read Hebrews
I once did my
10:25.
ABCs, and now
Yeah, I
can
know.
go
I got
on.
fire insurance when I was 7, then I whored around and was idolatrous, but I'm still going to heaven. By the way, you know heaven's not a biblical concept? I mean, just destroy everybody. Everybody. I'm like, have 4 subscribers now. Oops, don't care.
There is
Heaven's
heaven.
not a biblical concept. It's not there. You know what is there? The first death, which is the body, and then the second death, which is the soul, if you're not a follower of Yeshua, if you don't have a testimony of Yeshua and keep the commands of Elohim. Oh, shit. I know, right? Oh, shit. Did he really say that out loud? He did. He said that out loud. Revelation 14, verse 12. There's no heaven. You don't go to heaven. Your soul goes to the waiting room. You're just there. And then on Judgment Day, right, when everybody's like, I can't wait for the Lord Jesus to return, like, you might want to reconsider those words. Every knee shall bow, every tongue shall confess. All of them are going to bow, all of them are going to confess. And again, Yeshua says in Revelation 22, verse 12, behold, I come speedily to give to each man according to his works. Were you a scumbag? You spend forever away from the Creator. Were you a good person to the best of your ability? Because your accountability can only stack up to your understanding, right? So the more you understand, the higher level of accountability you have, which is why it's dangerous for you people who have a box checker Christian mentality to hang around this channel, because I'm going to disabuse you of all your bullshit fantasies. I'm going to piss all over your sacred cows. And I'm also not going to care. But it's dangerous because as your level of understanding increases, so does your level of accountability. Behold, I come speedily to give to each man according to his works, not thoughts or feels or emotes or intentions. Works. What did you do? What are the questions we got? I feel like I just pissed all over that rabbit hole.
How bad do you think it will be this winter? And I'm not just talking about the weather.
How bad do you think it'll be this winter? And I'm not just talking about the weather. Depends. Depends on what. It is in direct proportion to your reliance on the system. The more reliant on the system you are, the worse it will be.
Yeah.
The less reliant on the system you are, the better it'll be. I fully intend by the time the snow flies to have a wood stove in my house. I already have one in Grandma's house. I also have one for our big old tent. And I also have one that's going in the outhouse. And I also have a bunch of trees now that need to get cut down to be turned into siding to put around my house. And I have with multiple brethren, a firewood excursion planned in the near future.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I also hooked you up with a shit ton of kindling today.
yeah, you did. I saw that. Appreciate that. Right? And so, how many times we got to talk about this? The reason the channel is called Bear Independent is because the goal is to be as independent from the system as possible. So when the system goes away, if you're dependent on it, so do you. If you're not dependent on it, you can pivot. I was listening to an excellent conversation with David Dubine at Adapt 2030 and John Bush from the Freedom Academy on David's channel this morning while I was doing chores, feeding sheep, feeding cows, all of that. And I met John Bush at the Self-Reliance Festival at SOE Tactical's headquarters in Camden, Tennessee. And so I was listening to these guys talking, and what John was talking about, and what he's all about, is creating systems. Exit and build is his strategy, and I love it. Exit the system and build your own. And that's what we've been doing for the last 5 years. It's what people we fellowship with have been doing for the last 12, 15 years. Exit the system and build your own. And then when the system collapses, it's like all you do is pivot from the system to your system. And sisters, yes. So.
Somebody said Porch Brothers. I said and sisters.
Yes. The sisterhood of the porch.
Mm-hmm. That's not what we're called, though.
No, y'all call back porch bitches. Occasionally, we don't call them that. They call themselves that.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
is-
We have a logo.
Nice way to clean it up.
Well, had
We
to
got a
recover
logo
from
and
that one.
everything. We claim it.
Yes, they survived. We're here. We're just in the background, too.
Is there anywhere in the scriptures that talks about yarmulke or the hat that Jews wear? No. Nope, it talks about women keeping their head covered.
We talked about men not covering their
Yeah,
hair.
it does talk about men not covering their hair.
Specifically
Yeah,
in
while they
prayer.
pray.
Yep.
Except for the Levite priests.
Yeah. Well, see, so here's the thing. Rabbinic Judaism, rabbis teach and have believed for a long time, Rabbinical Judaism, that the Jews now represent all of Israel, which is wrong. Israel had 12 sons, the 12th of which was Joseph, and he had 2 sons, which was Manasseh and Ephraim, which is where you get the 13 tribes of Israel from, because it's the 11 sons, and then for Joseph, those 2 sons, so 11, 12, 13, Manasseh and Ephraim. And so there's 13 sons, one of which was Judah, which becomes the Jews, the Yehudim. So, but they just adopted that identity, all of it on themselves. Like, we're Israel now. It's like, what about all the other guys? Like, no, it doesn't count. They're not anymore. Because they didn't do the things in the Bible, and they went into the diaspora. It's like, just like you did twice. Like, you didn't do all the things, and then you went into the Babylonian captivity and the Assyrian captivity. Oh, but no. But we figured it out again. And also take our word for it. We wrote literally 1,000 extra books about what you're supposed to do. And most of our teachings are directly counterintuitive per the Bible. Okay, cool. Y'all do that. Go right ahead. Best of luck with that. What else we got?
Little card game.
Yeah, we might play that. Card game.
What's it called?
Conflicted.
Yeah.
Oh, we play the board game?
No, we're not playing Conflicted the
No,
board
the
game.
board game is
Fine,
horrendous.
live stream.
No, Conflicted the board game gets
Follow
the
the
axe
rules.
treatment.
Question: do we treat the nations as brothers, or only our brothers and sisters in the faith?
It's a great
Great
question.
Yeah.
You shall know them by their fruits. All right, that whole Matthew 18 diatribe right there, that whole teaching and instruction right there. Peter's like, who's my brother? That's a really good question. Yeshua says, you will know them by their fruits. And so there's two prime directives. Love the Lord your God with everything you got, and love your neighbor as yourself. If people are doing that, this is me talking now. If people are doing that to the best of their ability and their understanding, I'm willing to treat them as a brother. If they don't conduct themselves like a brother, they don't have the benefits extended to them as a brother, because they're not. If two different guys walk up on your front porch, one's wearing a brown uniform, holding a cardboard box and needs you to sign for something. The other's holding a shotgun, banging on the front door and saying, open up or I'm going to kill you. Based upon how they're behaving, do you treat them the same way? Nope. Their works are different. Circumstances are the same, their works are different. So, who's my brother? See, and that whole thing goes on to, how many times shall I forgive my brother? 7 times? Yeshua says, no, 70 times, 7 times, which is a euphemism for all the times, because it's not 490 times you're forgiven, and then at 491 you're cut off. But you know your brothers by their fruits, by their works. And if somebody's not behaving themselves like a brother, but you have a relationship with them, you can rebuke them, and if they receive that, they're your brother. If they don't receive it, they're not your brother. That's the whole rebuking policy in Matthew 18. First you go alone, then you go with 2 or 3 witnesses, and then you bring it before the entire assembly.
Period.
I feel like we're going into the house
I
now.
think we are.
I think we're going into the house.
It's gonna just get heavier. I'll check real quick. Make sure it
Those who
doesn't slip.
do the will of my Father, the same as my brother and my sister and my mother. Right, so what's the will of the Father? If you love me, keep the commands. Ecclesiastes 12 verses 13 and 14. Let us hear the conclusion of the matter. Serve God and keep his commands, for all things will be brought into right ruling. Matthew 19 verse 17. If you wish to enter into life, guard the commands. John 12 verse 50. I know that his commands are everlasting life. I wonder what the will of the Father is.
Yeah.
It's almost like they keep dropping hints. Alright, we're going in the house. Hold on. Bippity boppity boo.
Hi. Raining.
It's raining. Look, ATS. You coming, dude? Alright. It's so lovely in here. So lovely. So lovely. Super duper lovely. I love it. So nice. Hey, you guys want to see an awesome painting my wife did?
No,
Look at this.
dummy.
Look at that. Look at that.
Sam, back porch.
Oil painting. Fo, he doesn't have thumbs. He can't let himself onto the back porch.
No, it's just gotta
You
come this
can.
way. You gotta go
Oh.
that way.
Which way am I going?
That way.
Dude, I
Come on, Sam.
need cardinal directions. That way is not enough information.
Yeah, thanks for talking about me on your live stream.
You're welcome. That's cool.
Good job, internet.
What do you think about the Bible code? I think Deuteronomy 29:29 is real. The secret matters belong to Elohim, but to us and our children. But what is revealed to us and our children forever to do all the words of this Torah. That's what I think. Do not add or take away from the word of this Bible, of this Torah. Tractor or skid steer for a homestead? Great question. Are you building a homestead or maintaining a homestead? Because tractors don't do earthwork and skid steers don't really plant row crops. So they're 2 different things. If you're doing dirt work, you're building roads, you're building paths, you're clearing trees, you're doing all of that, then a skid steer is going to be a lot more effective than a tractor. If you're maintaining roads, bush hogging or baling or stretching fencing wire, a tractor is going to do better at that stuff. Skid steer is super useful, super duper useful. The other thing is skid steers are electric over hydraulic controls, so there's a lot more finesse. Most tractors that the average homesteader is going to be buying are straight hydraulic controls, which means the valves are very touchy. It's straight valves, and so you have a lot less, the articulation in the controls is a lot more coarse. And so if you don't know how to operate equipment, and then you get a tractor and you're going to learn on the tractor, there's a curve there for sure. There's a curve there for sure. Hello from Vermont, your podcast rules. Shalom. Thanks, Gary. Vermont, scenic Vermont, the granite state. Been there, done that. What other questions we got? I still vote for some paint sipping at the next retreat. Paint and
sip. It's a thing.
It's drink wine
Don't
and
drink
paint.
we're not drinking paint.
Don't drink paint.
No, it's a girly night out where you like all do the same painting.
Thanks,
and
Anthony.
Drink wine together.
Is night vision monocular worth it for homestead surveillance? Not if all your other shit isn't squared away. What are you surveilling? Your empty fields where there should be animals and where there should be fence, and the road that's not built yet, and the barn that's not filled with stuff because you didn't do your due diligence. Like, yes, like nods are a force multiplier for sure. I'm just going to go ahead and say this. I'm not going to justify your decision to buy night vision unless you are 100% squared away on everything else. So.
Tracks.
Yeah. Take that $3,000 to $10,000 and put it into food production. Cost to shave the beard. Opie, my wife has never seen my chin.
Nope.
So, yeah, 11 years. She doesn't know what my chin looks like.
No, I've seen it a little bit more defined
Yup.
than it is now, but
Oh, you can find some videos with like a chin.
I
It's
know,
Just
it's-
a woolly
yeah.
chin.
This is what it looks like. There you go.
That's just his chin.
See?
Came out that way.
Do we still do Patreon coffee mugs?
you should be.
Yeah. Thanks, Corbin.
I haven't done those in a long time.
Cost to grow a mullet. I'll tell you what. You donate $1 million to Caleb House, I'll grow a mullet.
You can donate $1 million to Caleb House. I might shave my beard.
We'll totally shave Bob's beard for a minute. Do you have staph yet? I have a major staph infection right now.
You have staff
No,
yet?
you mean Caleb's house? Yeah, we have staph. Biden's speech. I'm hanging out talking to y'all. I don't know what the dumbass in chief has said today.
Could you even understand it if you were
I was actually concerned about some really important things today. So I have no idea what Biden said today. All praise to the Most High Yah. I just answered your question. Thou shalt not ask it again. Cheryl Davis, I do have a butt chin. My cigar tonight is Oliva Master Blend. Nice. Biden doesn't know what he's saying. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
His teleprompter was real witty today. Hey guys, on one level I care, on another level I don't care, and right now I'm on the I don't care level. Like I might hop on the escalator and descend into the I care level sometime tomorrow, but right now I don't.
Your spoons were gone earlier today.
Yeah, my spoons were gone by 2:53 in the afternoon
Yes.
today.
Oh, yeah.
You should throw that on the floor.
I did. Heck yeah, dude. Get with the program.
This is me. I need an answer.
All right.
Get that bug out there.
11-year-old and wife doesn't see your face without a bird. What the fuck, bro?
What?
Without a beard?
Yeah. I'm okay with it.
Listen, if your wife is willing to leave you because you didn't shave your beard, you need to work on your friggin' relationship.
Might be arguable you got the
Yeah.
wrong wife, bro.
Yeah.
If I told my wife I shaved my
Also,
beard, she'd
if
be
your wife's
confused.
named Jim, you've definitely got the wrong wife.
Yeah, I told you it was.
Ba ba da ba doo.
It's raining.
That's right, Lone Star Living. Yeah, you know what we call men without beards?
Okay.
Women.
Women and children. That's right.
I think that's your daughter saying it's raining.
I told him it was gonna rain.
Your wife walked
I was
by
like,
saying,
"Are you squared away?" Like, "Oh yeah, we're good to go." I was like, "I don't think you are." Like, no, we're fine. We have
They went to the
everything we
game.
need.
It's gonna rain.
Okay.
Classic.
Bear, any thought on the Rhino TQ? Any more testing on it? Bro, we shot a video on it today. Today.
We didn't spend the last 8 hours beating the crap out of it.
It's going on a training trip, and they're gonna beat the piss out of it. And when we have more data, they'll let us know.
Yeah, it takes a while to get to PNW.
How can a transplant
Yeah, how many times can they put it
recipient
on
prep
enough?
for extra meds? You tell your doctor bluntly, I think the supply chain issues and inflation issues are going to be a problem, and I'd like to have some extra meds.
And usually they're cool if you're not a
Yep.
crackhead.
and it's not crack.
Do you have sunburn issues with no hair? No. Oh, okay.
Go to get her.
LPVO or Red Dot? Watch the video titled
It's not
LPO
heavy.
versus Red Dot at this channel. I'm not going to summarize a 30-minute video. It depends. Met TC.
Do you want me to go move it?
Roger that, all praise. That's right, Sojourner for Christ. Good night, Lantern X1. Alright, conflicted.
What is this
Oh,
game?
we're gonna play?
Your family has been without food for quite some time now. And I was thinking about playing this the other day. And
It's a
then,
prepper novel in cards.
and then PJ did a video earlier today on
That's how we
Patreon.
got it to start with.
Yeah. Do you need, or like, do you need a poncho?
Elbows behind me.
Oh, again? Your family has been without food for quite some time now, and things are beginning to look bleak. You stumble upon a group who are friendly enough to barter goods with you. They have a small...
Stop interrupting. Let me lock the door.
Bees. They have a small supply of food that they are willing to trade, but will accept your only firearm as payment, since this is all you have as value. How would you react in this situation? What would you do?
Why would we have no food?
I
My
hate
first
this
thought
game
is I'm like, that's not
because
Every time we're like, there's a door for that, and like, why are you such a sucker for not running?
yeah, your family has been without food for quite some time now. Okay, so we're 19 years into the scenario.
It's the last
Okay.
12 people.
You stumble upon a group of people. Nope, that's not how that works, but okay. They're friendly enough to barter with me. That's what silver's for. They have a small supply of food that they're willing to trade. They're dumb. But will only accept your only firearm as payment. My only firearm?
Come on.
Since this is all you have of value. How would you react in this situation? What would you do? Okay, there's a lot of unnatural constraints in this question.
Yeah, but the idea would be, do you need a firearm if you're going to starve to death? No, which is why we tell people to like get a rifle and then get food,
Mhm.
not 6 rifles and no food.
Mm-hmm.
Like take it to like if they wanted your 12th rifle.
So you're saying you would trade the gun for the food? Katie
If you're
Lynn.
starving to death and that's
Okay.
all you have, yes.
Okay. Bug out Bob, what's your answer?
I'm posing a truce. I'm trying to come to an agreement where I keep the firearm and I eat food with them, and then I provide security for their camp.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
entrepreneurs.
Yep.
gotta
Right
make
there.
a way.
Bo, did you hear the question?
I did not. I was out in the rain.
Okay. You're starving to death,
Okay.
and somebody will trade food with you, but in order to do so, the only thing they want is your only firearm. You trade your only firearm for food so you don't starve to death.
For your wife. Who's dying.
And it's gluten-free food. So
Yeah, it's totally.
Free
It's,
dairy
it's
free,
completely
dairy-free.
organic.
No garlic.
it's food-free.
And your wife
Part of
is-
me wants to say no,
Okay.
because what's going to stop them from just shooting me and taking the food back?
Right. Right.
So
Okay, but they're good people. Come on, they're good people.
Who's good? The world's good?
now,
or
if it's a
the
brother, if it's like you and you have
Mhm.
food, and I come over and say, "Hey, I need some food," and you say, "Give me your gun," and I'll say, "Sure."
Well,
Here, give me
but
the
then
So-
would a brother do that?
Yeah, our brothers would be like, first of all, why are you starving to death? Second of all, why do you only have one gun? But also, I left this out because you were outside in the rain. It's a group of people you stumbled upon.
Oh,
Oh, so it's not a brother.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust him.
I wouldn't trust him either. No. I'm not getting into these shenanigans with the world. I'm gonna keep my firearm, thank you very much. I'm also gonna not run out of food because I refuse to be at the will of other people. I will not be under your thumb. Should we do the next one?
Heck yeah.
How long can you go without food?
Well, it's the rule of threes, bro. 3 seconds without hope. 3 minutes without air. 3 hours without shelter. 3 days without water. 3 weeks without food. 3 months without a conjugal visit.
That's about
See,
it.
the 3 weeks without food, I have disproven.
Thank you,
So,
Jason in Virginia. What's up, Jason?
Well,
in
if you
Virginia?
eat the sun, you're good.
I have disproven the 3 weeks without food 6 times.
Yeah,
So,
true.
Shua didn't eat for 40 days.
So this question is funny, because this is a ridiculous question given what we do in our daily life. But we'll do it anyway.
Okay.
Your scouts inform you about a small-time kidnapper who is holding people hostage and engaging in human trafficking.
No way.
The initial intel that he has a force of 4 other men with him who are well armed and dozens of victims. Most of that are they wizard militias? That's what I need to know. And dozens of victims. Most of them are women and children. Sounds like they would be an even match for your current survival group and your capabilities. As your group's leader, would you waste supplies and risk the lives of your group members to rid the world of such characters,
fuck yeah.
or would you let them continue to prey upon the weak?
I don't think that's wasted supplies.
Yeah. Say when, bro. Say when.
Those rock piles for a reason.
Yeah, that's right.
I would roll a 3. That way I could increase my strength and stamina.
Plus 12 to
And-
attack.
Yeah, and then I would cast a super strength spell
Okay.
over my guys, and they would be good to go.
Right. Would the dungeon master allow this though?
I don't know. I don't get to wear the funny hat. That's the
Oh,
problem.
well, actually, it's good though because if you did wear the funny hat, I'd have to kill you.
Right. Good
Because
call.
thou shalt not suffer a witch to live.
Yes.
So
Don't be warlocks.
yeah, don't,
Pretty simple, you
Yeah.
know.
pretty basic.
Pretty just basic dude
Yeah.
stuff.
But it's like
Warlock again. How many times today?
it's like I keep the Torah and I'm a warlock. It's like no, one of these things is not true.
One of these things is not like
Yeah,
the other.
one of these things is not true. You can't do magic and keep the Torah.
Yeah, no, we're running
And,
an op.
and also, just to be straight, you can't do magic. That's actually not possible.
You don't understand. He's magic. Oh, I do. Do I need to quote Jeremiah? Where are your gods?
At the local trading post, the man recognizes you for some. At the local trading post, the man recognizes you for someone who turned him and his family away when he came begging for help. He starts to yell in the middle of the trading post that he'll sell information about your bug out location to the highest bidder. There are about 300 people doing business at the trading post as the scene unfolds. He claims to know your watch guard rotation schedule, how many people you have in the camp, and the type of supplies you have in store. People are starting to notice you and him. It's time for you to do something. How would you handle this situation? I would have Dudley Duddle him.
Yep.
Right.
Rear naked choke.
Did you see Dudley's comment?
Snitches.
No, I didn't.
F-A-F.
Good night.
There's a lot of axes.
Yeah, there's wands and witches and axes
Yeah.
in the chat. Base,
Right.
base Dudley.
Yes, this is a real game. It's called Conflicted right here. We learned about this from Pastor Joe Fox at Viking Preparedness. Do not get the board game. And you might think like, wow, the card game is really good. I wonder if I should get the board game. No. Do not get the it took us 3 hours to set the game up and take our first turn.
And that was with our severely autistic son who loves that shit.
Yeah, and that it was not, I'm not exaggerating, 3 hours.
For that question, I'm probably gonna run a counter op, take that dude, and figure out how he got that intel,
Yeah.
so that we can actually, because he just sounds like a snitch, and snitches usually aren't in charge, like they work for somebody else. So how do you get that intel?
That's a good word.
Yeah, so we're gonna run a counter op, and we're gonna hold that dude up for like a week or two, not let him eat, just give him a little bit of water.
Uh-huh. Toenails, fingernails.
Toenails, fingernails,
Yep.
and then we're gonna see where he's at, because obviously he's not acting like a real man.
Yeah.
Because a real man
Also-
will be providing for his family and not snitching in the square.
Why?
Hang out with him for 3 weeks then.
Yeah, I'm cool. with
Yeah. Why?
Rotation. That's why you have people.
Why am I at the trading post without Overwatch?
Yeah, first.
What's going on here?
It's a fucking air
The,
show.
the moment he's like, hey, this guy!
Done.
Yeah. Okay. Who does number 2 work for? You should work for, like, you need a number 2 every day. Okay, that's helpful.
Yeah, it's also healthy.
Yeah, it's healthy. Yeah, I'm very good at you.
Pretty good to stay
Oh, I was like,
regular.
who's number 2?
How would you deal with betrayal in a world post-collapse? There's no law but the ones you and your group choose to observe. Oh, the Torah.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, whatever the
Where
Torah
do
says
you
there.
draw the line between forgiving someone and seeking justice? Give
Oh.
examples.
Yeshua, 70 times.
Yeah. I mean, just talking about it.
Just talking about this.
Matthew chapter 18.
Hey, there it is.
Yeah.
But they do go outside the gate for a little bit.
But sometimes you gotta be outside
Yeah,
the
you
gate for 7
might-
days.
yeah.
That's true.
I'll
Sometimes
make
you
her
need
my
to go on
wheelbarrow.
timeout.
Yeah. There's a spider on my phone.
Bye, spider.
There's a spider on my tripod. Yeah, I don't know. It's the Torah. Like, that's
Oh.
a lot of times when people are like, well, we're just going to have to figure this out when we get into a group. And it's like, that's why I preach high ideological alignment so that everybody's on the same page now so you don't have to figure it out. Because if, you know, Bill and Tim and Phil are all on different pages about what we're going to do, then we're going to have a problem.
Hey, Bucky, scoot that out here so I can sit too.
T, this sounds like Prepper D&D. What's up, Joe? It does.
Very.
It does sound like Prepper D&D. Conflicted, the card game.
We are not sponsored by them.
If the collapse
Tactical
comes
guy. Medic
as a
guy.
man-made disaster, politics will have something to do with it. What are you doing today politically to help things get back on track? Nothing.
Nothing.
What about you guys?
Burn it down.
Burn it down?
Yeah, I have complete anarchy at this point.
Separating from.
Yeah, right. So I'm blatantly trying to not be involved in it. So I feel like Joe Biden's talking right now. Why aren't you listening? I'm like, if I wanted to listen to a senile old man, I'd talk at the gas station with Joe. Yeah, no. That's why the collapse happened. Was politics.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
You are bugging out by foot.
You
Oh,
printing something?
my foot's on a printer.
Oh,
That's what I thought. That was a car horn.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
like,
all the way printing,
what's
whatever
going
you
on?
said.
I was like, somebody playing a kazoo in here?
I think you just made a photocopy of your ass.
I hope I do. You are bugging out by foot. You see a crashed prison bus. Inmates are in it, stuck trying to get out. The bus is on fire, and they are begging for help. Do you use your axe to break the windshield glass and let them out, or will you let the inmates die? I'd let them out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
The Torah is about the
People.
preservation of life.
Yep.
They're people. And who knows where the bus was coming? Maybe they were going to let all those people out. It was their last day. Shit happened.
We might be checking paperwork on the way out, but
Yeah, you might be like, what are you in for?
Right.
You go over there?
Can you make wine in a toilet? Because if you can, I'm going to need you around post SHTO.
Anybody who's a wizard, go over there. We'll talk to you in a
if you
second.
traffic children, you're on this line.
Yeah,
What was your crime?
you're going to need this axe.
Yeah.
It's funny. They know I have an axe. Did you see that?
Yeah, they literally were like, you.
Do you use your axe to break the windshield glass?
Oh my gosh, it's a deep conflicted.
Oh
my
Thank
gosh.
you.
We've been programmed all
The
these years.
CIA.
What do you think about the equidistant letter sequence applied to the Bible code? One of y'all already asked me about the Bible code earlier. Thou shalt not add to or take away from the word of this Torah. Deuteronomy
Created
29:29. The secret matters belong to Elohim, but what is revealed to us and our children forever to do all the words of this Torah. Thoughts on the book of Enoch? It's apocrypha.
Wait, the whole verse though is important. Not just part of the verse that tunes your ears. The whole verse. The whole verse.
Yeah.
Like, what's revealed? The whole Torah.
Yep.
It's not like just pieces of this. It's the whole
Yeah.
verse.
Do it. I
Yeah.
agree.
Yep.
Thoughts on moving in elderly mother-in-law who doesn't keep Torah? She's in your house and you keep Torah. She keeps Torah.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah. Is she the priest of your home?
Nope.
Negative.
So, and she's an elderly mother-in-law. She's moving into your house, obviously, because she needs help. So what, she's going to drive herself to the store to go buy bacon every Tuesday?
Thoughts on Enoch?
So, how do you know the ammo you buy is good, still work in the field in the rain? You follow SAW, Survival Applications Weapon Systems, on YouTube and Patreon, and you listen when he tells you what ammo to get because it has sealed primers and crimped bullets.
Somebody just threw
That's
it.
what you do.
Warlock.
Yeah, easy peasy.
Who's a warlock?
I don't know, but somebody's name is Warlock, so I'm pretty sure they just changed their name to Warlock.
Oh,
You don't want to be.
don't thou shalt not warlock. Verily.
Well, they want us to take a shot every time Bear says pontificate. Which
I'm
I don't
not-
think I've ever
I
heard
don't
him say
know.
pontificate. I mean, he does pontificate.
I say pontificate in the briefs in the morning.
No, you said it.
Oh. But it's not like a normal part of your vocabulary. You do it, you just don't usually.
Bear, would you consider doing a video on shofars? I'm going to tell you everything I know about a shofar. Shofars come from the internet after you pay money for them, and you blow them like a trumpet on the days when God tells you to. That's everything I know about shofars.
I got
Pontificate
mine
on
off
that.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Aren't they like a war?
They are
They
used
can
for
be.
different things.
They
you
can
know.
be.
There's the shofar, which is the animal horn, and the yovel, which is the
No
beaten
more.
brass horn. No, the yovel is not a shofar.
Sure.
It's a trumpet. Actual. What's up, Saul? Shalom, brother. See, exactly. See that comment right there? Thanks, brother Bear. Shalom. You click on that, you go to that channel, you subscribe, and then you learn the real shit. That's, Period. The end. Do it.
The most wisdom.
Yeah,
best.
the most wisdom for sure.
Right.
Well, it's interesting because so a lot of different things have been happening lately, like within the last week or 10 days, that illustrate a high level of synchronicity. And Saul was talking about that in one of his videos recently, where he was like, yeah, you know, Bear and Rex and Saw and PJ, they all kind of sound the same. They talk about the same things at the same time. And he made this comment I thought was great. He's like, yeah, we all have the same dad and we all read the same book. And I was like, nailed it.
Facts.
Like, nailed it. And then like just crazy stuff. Like, you know, yesterday on the morning brief with the axe, he's like, check out these videos I shot a few weeks ago that I haven't posted yet. Axes. I was like, badass. Like, just like that, right? It's like, God's not real. It's all serendipity and, you know,
Yeah.
okay, cool. Whatever.
Coincidences.
Whatever you say, homie.
Hop out the chat for us, would you? This might be the wrong place.
But yeah, it's like, yeah, we all say the same things. It's the Torah. Like, Ecclesiastes 12, 13, and 14. Let us hear the conclusion of the matter, serve God, and keep his commands. It's badass, right? And it's cool when you get, you know, in the mouths of 2 or 3, let a thing be established. When the father's like, let's go with 4, just so that there's no questions. You know, we'll just use 4 today instead. Like, it's awesome.
C. Goody had a good one.
See, Goody?
Simple answer.
Let's see. Ray McDaniel. See, Goody. Would like to hear more about Torah. Was raised Catholic and even an altar boy. Most of my family still is, but I never felt satisfied or complete, if that makes sense. Love the content I get to hear. So, the cool thing about the Torah is you own a copy of it if you own a Bible. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. That's the Torah. Read it. Just read it. And then do it. Everywhere it says do these things, do them. Everywhere it says don't do these things, don't do them. Read the book, do what it says. User manual for people. Torah means instruction. And then, like, lots of people have videos and podcasts and stuff on, like, what to do. I would recommend, myself included, and I say this all the time on video, I would recommend, if you're going to listen to somebody else's take on the Bible, you read the Bible while they are reading the Bible. Like, so if you're like, okay, we're in Deuteronomy 32 today, like, you whip your Bible out and you read it with your own eyeballs. And especially with a Catholic background, don't let any man get in between you and the Father. Like, none. There's one mediator, one intercessor, that's Yeshua Messiah, Jesus the Christ. There's one. That's it. Hebrews chapter 8, the renewed covenant, makes that clear. Yeshua's the mediator. He's the go-between. It's not your pastor, your priest, your rabbi, your brother, your uncle, your dad, your grandpa, your best friend, your buddies from men's group. That's not your mediator. That's not who you answer to. You answer to Yeshua. And the only reason you'll ever be able to stand in the presence of the Most High is because of his atoning sacrifice. So just read it and do what it says. And whenever somebody's like, that was done away with, you don't have to do that. Do more research. Understand how to articulate what it is that you're doing. And you learn by doing. So do it. Like the Torah is something you do. Hear and do. Shema, hear, right? And then do with your hands. James in the New Testament, James chapter 1, you know, James was the brother of Yeshua, the brother of Messiah, James the Just. It says, be not just hearers of the word, but doers also. Do what it says to do. And then Yeshua says over and over and over again, if you wish to enter into life, guard the commands. Rabbi, what shall I do to have everlasting life? It's a must. If you wish to enter into life, guard the commands. So.
Still getting down?
Yes. Always.
Shall we do another card?
Do it.
Your group was attacked and several members are missing.
Ah.
2 days later, your group finds a teenage boy sneaking around your camp at night. You capture him, but he is claiming that he had nothing to do with the previous attack and is just looking for food. Some in your group believe that he may be a scout from a rival group, and he may know sensitive information about your missing team members. Would you release him after questioning? If not, how far are you willing to go to extract information from a potentially innocent person?
Wow.
We
know
think
the
that you should
teenagers
be
can be
the fit on
manipulated.
this.
Yeah, we do know that.
Yeah, teenagers
All
can
the way.
definitely be manipulated.
Mhm.
If it's a
So
boy, you just bring a girl.
That's a great
Yeah.
point. That's why we keep you
Sucker!
around.
yeah,
Yep.
put our strongest,
Now it's a
most
girl,
deadly
it's
girl
much harder.
in the
But-
room.
Yeah, in a mini skirt.
No.
And be like, y'all make friends, figure it out.
Um.
A little honey pot, you know, I'm not saying I gotta go all the way. I'm
No.
just saying, you know.
Yeah, dude, that
Spark
dude's
some
all
interest.
the way getting questioned super hard for an extended period. Release him, negative. Goes like, keep your friends close, your enemies closer, dog. Like,
Yeah, I'll feed you, but you're staying here.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna cast,
If he's
cast
hungry,
the truthfulness spell on
If
him.
he's hungry, he won't want to leave.
Mm.
Like, why would he want to leave?
Do you release and follow?
Counter ops.
Yeah, you could probably do that after time if he's like, yeah, I really want to go and be free. Yeah, for sure, man, absolutely. Here, take some food for the road, and then send like, you know, a small squad after him
Yeah. You could do that.
for shizzle, and
Yeah.
then you get your
way.
peeps back if he actually is an enemy, or your squad goes out for like 15 miles, and they're like, all right, this dude literally is just eating garbage. Like, he's an idiot. So I mean, I don't know.
He's eating garbage.
Yeah.
Intel's intel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, if he's eating garbage, it's garbage.
You'd know pretty quick if he wants to leave. Like, if he wants to leave, he's not looking for food.
So definitely getting questioned. Definitely getting questioned. Your group was attacked and several members are missing. Where did they go? Like what happened to our discipline? It just all fell apart?
Yeah.
Did they run away?
If
Were
our
they
group got
captured?
attacked, like, we don't go alive. Like, that's
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like-
it's not happening.
Like, we know Bob's over here.
Yeah.
I heard 12 magazines get expelled right here.
Yeah.
Okay. 2 days later, your group finds a teenage boy sneaking around your camp at night. Again, I hate the constraints this game puts on you. It's like, we found him? You mean like Sam ate him?
Yeah,
Like, what does this mean? Like he tripped an alarm?
Harmony
Found him
shot in.
screaming.
Yeah, my wife shot him.
Yeah, the patrol, like, shot him in the head. Like, what happened?
You capture him. Okay, so we found him, we captured him. He had nothing, and he is claiming he had nothing to do with the previous attack. How did he know about the previous attack?
Why were you dumb enough to
Yeah.
tell him?
And he's just looking for food. See, that matters because if no one from our camp brought up the previous attack, I don't know nothing about what happened 2 days ago. Oh, bro, I'm ripping every fingernail and toenail you have off. We're getting out the pruning shears.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting rough.
Mm-hmm.
But if somebody was like, hey, did you have anything to do with what happened on Tuesday night? Like, no, This is EPW, enemy prisoners of war, right? You need to have a protocol for that. What do we
SOP
do with
for that,
people?
for sure.
Exactly. What do we do with people like this? Isolate, right? It's a big part of it. Isolate them.
Yeah.
Don't allow them to talk. Don't allow people to talk to them. Because if he says, I had nothing to do with what happened 2 nights ago, oh, yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. And I'm going to take
Or
you
you
apart
know who
piece by
did.
piece. But if somebody else said to him, then that's a failure on our part, and now we don't know. That introduced some gray area into the situation, right?
Ray McDaniel said, pull a Dahmer and be happy your meal just walked into camp. We don't eat people, dog.
No,
That's
no.
negative, bro.
I think Badger deleted it. Because
So-
we don't
Thanks, Badger.
Prepping to our EMT, the ATS dates for 2023 have not been set yet, and when they are set, they will go out on Patreon, and they will go out to guys who have previously attended. And it's interesting because ATS keeps growing, and that's not the intention, but it's super cool. Like, keeps growing. I don't ever want to do it at like Cowboy Stadium though.
Can't-
You know?
Right.
Like,
That's too
Camp
much.
gets shown.
Yeah. Right.
yeah,
Too much.
too much. Listen, if I suspect this kid's dirty, the pruning shears and the line pliers are coming out. I like your idea about counter ops. Okay, let him go. Let's see where he goes.
That's technically your idea.
Yeah, it's okay.
Oh,
I
I
know.
like y'all's idea.
I'm humbled. I'm not big.
You're the best at being humble. Don't say that.
I hate these philosophical questions. Is the world too far gone that nothing but a complete collapse will bring forth real change? Why? And what would that change be? Shut up.
Grow your own food.
Another philosophical question.
Maybe you could pontificate.
I could, but then we'd have to drink, and I'm out of water right now. Luckily, there's a Berkey over there. You spent a lot of money on your bug out location and on supplies, and now that a collapse of modern society happened, a local contractor who worked on your property showed up with his family, taking over your shelter before your arrival. He said that your retreat was the only safe place he knew and didn't think you would make it, and that some of his co-workers would probably show up eventually at your place as well. He wants what's best for his family and is having a hard time letting you in. How would you take control of this situation? Which weapon would you choose and why? I'd shoot that effort in the face
First, he does,
that fast.
he does
because
not know you that well.
yeah.
First of all, Jody, how could you have done this?
Thou shalt not steal. Survival Scenarios 2 is the deck that we're using.
What's he
Find them on Amazon.
He took over your bug out location. The contractor built your bug out location for you, and then you showed up to it, and he was there.
Is he starving to death?
I don't know. Is he starving to death?
There's a token for that.
Is he a brother? Or is he the nation's?
That's what I'm saying. You can't shoot him in the face first.
Even
Might
the-
be a brother.
Even the Proverbs say to not let your enemy go starved, to feed your enemy in their time of hunger.
Yeah.
So,
Shut up, Bob.
I'm sorry. It's just a word, dude.
Alright.
The brakes on shooting the faces.
Well, I'm gonna dump a can of beans on him after I shoot him in the face.
There'll be a big
All right, take the camera back.
I put my foot on the printer again.
I realize that.
Okay. What do you think?
I'm really curious what you're printing.
I have no idea. Launch codes.
From the
I'm thinking if he was your contractor, he knows you and he knows whether to show up there or not.
Not true.
He knows your reaction is going to be.
This is such
You
an
should have
illogical
made that very
question.
clear.
Yeah.
We would never hire a contractor for a bug out location. We would be
That
the
is true.
contractor.
Well, that's true, comma, I've built other people's bug out
Yeah,
locations for them.
Yeah, roger that.
So, like, it is a thing.
Yeah,
We
so I guess,
wouldn't.
would you
Yeah.
show up at somebody else's bug out location?
No. And a lot of people, that's an interesting question, because a lot of people are like, well, what guarantees I have that you'll never come back here? It's like, none, other than my word. I don't remember where you live. Like,
It's like
and
one
if
of
I
a
did,
million
oh, it's
jobs.
stored in my GPS, but the EMP got it. Or like, I'm gonna bug out however many hundreds of miles to your place. Like, the reason you hired me to build yours is because I know how to build them, like, my own. So why am I bugging out to your place?
That's the
Sure,
point
you
too.
couldn't find our appointment this morning.
It depends.
too many bookshelves.
I was sweaty earlier.
Grocery stores and mini marts have been ransacked of all food. Your group is low on food, never, and is in desperate need of resources, never. What other locations would you start looking for food with possible supplies to barter with? The countryside, the woods, my pantry,
The backyard.
the backyard,
The barn.
the barn.
I mean, people don't think of like
bug out
odd
spot.
things. Odd things
Yeah, the
like
bug out spot we built for those other people.
office supply stores could have food in them, like
Yeah. Office buildings, vending
office
machines,
buildings,
yeah.
nursing homes, I don't know,
Schools.
schools.
Yeah. Restaurants. I don't know. There's,
Anything that involves food, we're like,
see, so the thing with this game is it's like, basically the basic premise is like, you're a politically inept gear whore that bought too many guns, and the world ended. What are you gonna do now?
You're not actually into prepping.
Yeah. What's up, Kyle M?
no, because they bought the game with their list
Yeah.
from Amazon. Just so you guys know, it's on Amazon. You can also Google it and find the actual website that it's on, but it's also on Amazon.
No, we'll do a few more questions over here right now. What other questions we got from the Bear Nation? What's up, Chad?
Hi.
Hi. You get up. Yeah, you were fine in the rain, huh?
It was fun.
Yeah, okay.
What happened to you?
Did you get pushed in a creek or
Like
something?
Spirit Night,
So-
so she painted herself.
Our sophomore
Yeah,
colors
that's
were
okay.
yellow, so I was all dressed out in yellow. I'm covered
Oh,
in
did
paint.
Aquaman say some funny stuff?
Whose hands are those?
Aspens.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a great question. Oh, ba-ba-da-ba-doo.
I see a shower.
I can't see Aquaman's comment. Where
Where's
is
the high
it?
five? There it is.
Smells like Teen Spirit here.
I did get to play my drums earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In front of people.
Yeah, this was the first time in a half a decade I played in front of people.
Dang it, man. I should have been at the office. I knew I was supposed to go.
Who's at the office?
Well, I know Aquaman's on here. Hey, I played one of our old tracks earlier today, and it hurt physically, but I did it.
I heard it sounded good.
Recommendations for new metal? No, it's like all terrible. It's like angsty. A band that I've been listening to a fair amount lately, not even remotely metal, but it's the band Polyphia, Polyphia. They're just really good musicians. So, yeah. At the edge of the collapse, a close friend who isn't a prepper begged you to help him buy him and his young family some supplies. Upon your arrival, the supermarket is packed with people who want to secure supplies as well, and emotions are running high. Your friend separates from you to grab something, and suddenly an argument breaks out over food. 3 men try to intimidate your friend. He snaps and pulls out a weapon, incapacitating 2 of the men. What kind of gayness is this? Chaos takes over. The police are on their way. What would you do in this situation? I wouldn't be buying food when the world is ending. I would be doing that beforehand, and all of my friends are preppers.
All of
And
them.
even if they
And
weren't,
I'm
you
not
took them to your bar.
incapacitating somebody. What are we going to pull an Uncle Joe and shoot him in the leg? No, you don't incapacitate. If you draw a weapon, it's to use it.
Yep.
I don't know.
But
Sorry.
you wouldn't go to a store. You would take them to your pantry and be like, or here's my refugee bucket.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, you're going to give them some rice and beans, and if they're people you care about enough, you're going to give them some stuff, but you should be prepared for that too.
Yeah.
What scenario are we in where the grocery store's open but people are shooting each other over food?
No, it's like the very end.
Why are you in town?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
First 24 hours.
So
Chaos.
electricity, commo, and commerce still works, but food doesn't work?
Okay.
Transpo still works?
That's like
The cops are on their way, but there's no food?
There's no food. Yeah.
Yeah.
Eh.
Yeah, toilet
this is
paper.
some-
You know,
this is
March
some
2020.
prepper porn right here.
Yeah,
That
this,
is-
Yeah.
this whole game is
I mean, we've
prepper
actually
porn.
lived this, like March 2020.
Yeah,
toilet
that
paper.
happened. People were,
So
people were
You know what
absolutely
phone
shaking
did? They like
themselves
had
over
a
toilet
shortage,
paper.
so we just sent each kid into
Oh.
the store with some cash.
This is a good question.
Uh-oh.
It's a good question for us.
All right, shoot it.
Especially because I think there's a fundamental misunderstanding of how we operate. So, good question.
What was I gonna say? Are you gonna say it or what?
When forming a survival group, what structure of organization is best? Having one leader with people under that person at various levels, or having the entire group share leadership and responsibilities? Why?
Torah!
There's an answer for this, huh? Go ahead.
I'm gonna say there's a literal Torah for this.
There's literally a
There's literally.
Yeah.
Why don't you educate the people? While I get some water.
There was one leader, his name's Jah.
Yeah. So flip with me to Judges.
Good job, bro.
Like,
Good job.
the whole idea is like you have leadership, you have eldership, right? Like you have a group of people, then those are leaders, those are trusted people who have wisdom, and all those leaders are under the main command of Yah, right? And so they operate under the command of Yah. And then if they don't operate under the command of Yah, Israel steps up and removes that person because they're unrighteous, which is all throughout Judges. And then there's people that step up into their place and do the right thing. So that's what I've got. And a lot of people probably think like,
It's not a dictatorship. though.
yeah,
It's-
people probably think
leadership
like
does not mean
Bear is like
dictatorship.
ruling with
Yeah.
like a warhammer over here. And
Yeah.
that's not the case.
You want to see my whip marks on my back?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a dictatorship. There is leadership in place because certain people are better at different things.
Yeah.
And if you keep staying around talking about it and nothing actually gets done.
Someone
then-
has to say, go dig that.
Yeah, somebody
Right.
has to be like, cool, great, go. But that doesn't mean that they made every decision and,
Yeah, but somebody also needed to figure out the shovels. Somebody else needed to figure out, like, a rotation for the digging and all.
somebody
It's
to make
like-
the schedule.
And there's also like a humbleness in all the leadership. It's
Yep.
not like one person sits there and is like, hey, you do this and this and this and this. It doesn't work that way. He's like, hey, I need you guys to do this. I'm over here on this shovel.
Right.
I'm over here on this pick. I'm over here on this machine. I'm over here making phone calls to get you guys supplies so you can keep moving.
Right.
Like there's not just a one-man band. It's a whole machine.
No, and that's where Israel rises up and takes over. If you plan to sit there and do nothing,
Yeah.
your people are going to
Yeah.
take you out.
Well, that comes back to true leadership. Leaders lead from the front, right?
Yep.
And so if you want to be a leader, you
It's
set
not
the
fair.
example for your people and you take extreme ownership, right? We
Ooh,
talk a lot
somebody
about
just-
extreme ownership.
Somebody just
And
in the chat.
so, I mean, the reality is like, you have to take that extreme ownership. You have to go to that level of saying every single thing is my responsibility, and I have to ensure that everybody understands the why behind the mission, and take that power to enact, the overarching mission, whatever it is, and then use your subordinate leadership to do that too.
And you have your group that has many different skills.
Oh yeah.
And that's what you need. You need to, if you don't know how to do something, you find someone in your group that knows how to do it, and you make good friends with them.
Yeah, I'm not the leader of
Yeah.
Como.
Hell no.
Hell no.
That's what subordinate leadership is about.
Yeah, we have leaders in Como.
Hell
They're
yeah.
awesome. They pumped to take Como tests.
Yeah.
I was like, there's Como
There's
tests.
like, there's like
Yeah,
50 different things,
That
and then
brother
every
was
one of them have a
so
leader.
excited to
Yeah.
take that test.
He's
I
like,
mean, there's
yeah.
not one leader. There's like
He's like, I
50
listened to the
different
study
leaders.
guide on Audible and I read it at the same time. I was like, that's on Audible? I was like, bless you, dude.
Yeah, bro.
He's walking around with like a brand new radio. He's like testing. He's like, this is a super frequency, and if you bounce it off this repeater, you can talk to space. I was like, okay. Can I talk to my mom? Yeah. So.
Oh, that's great.
We just want to know for the convoy. What channel? What channel? Does somebody bring an extra battery?
I will give you all
You
this.
can't keep the chatter down.
You need to understand how to lock your radios. That's all. Like,
Hot mic.
yeah. Or people switching frequencies in the convoy. They're like, we can't get a hold of Kilo. I'm like, Kilo's back here, can't talk to anybody else. Nothing. It's like, yeah, because you hit the button on the Baofeng and you're on a completely different frequency because you didn't put
Lock
the
is
little...
an
That is so kilo too.
Yeah.
Too long, always want to be talking.
No. So leadership and like leaders that want to control everything are not leaders. They're psychopaths.
Yeah.
They're tyrants. I don't. And so, to be clear, I lead some things. I'm subordinate leadership and other things in our existence. I don't want to control anything. True or untrue?
No, that's super true.
No, actually, yeah, he very often tries not to be in charge, and then we go, yeah, no, we need you to just go ahead and, because sometimes somebody has to be the leader to step up. If you got a bunch of, like we talk about, B personalities sitting around, they're gonna have a conversation about it all day long, and everybody's gonna get to say something, but nobody may actually do it. You need one of those A types, that leadership, to be like, great, so who's going today? So who's going tomorrow? When are we doing this? What time? Let's go.
They give you, and to give you like an insight in the Daily Bear, right? Like subordinate leadership, like for Refuge Medical. Like he is my boss, and he like gives me his vision, right? And he's like, this is what I really think should happen. And then I'm like, okay, cool. And he's like, all right, see you later. And I'm like, what? And so he's not a controlling guy in the terms of leadership. He's really not.
There is no micromanaging going on here.
And if he does get that way, usually it's because a bunch of people dropped the ball, and he's like, now
Shit's gone awry.
Shit's gone sideways, and he's like, I gotta pick this up and clean this up because it didn't happen the right way, which is seldom.
It's kind of like we did today. We came to him and said, hey, can we give away a bunch of free stuff for Preparedness Month?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, what are you thinking? And we like spitballed a bunch of ideas to him. He goes, sounds good, make it happen.
Yeah.
So
You guys just wait.
Yeah. No, it's live now.
it's live now.
Yeah. People are getting
People
free
got
stuff.
the newsletter.
I don't know. I don't do that anymore. That's not my
It
job.
was on the newsletter, so.
Yeah. There's free stuff at Refuge Medical if you haven't been there. There's free stuff.
I just like walked away for 2 minutes.
We were talking about subordinate leadership. He gave, a parable of a situation, and I just said there was free stuff.
RefugeMedical.com.
Not sham wowing. Go there or don't go there. I don't care. Y'all will provide.
Sales
I was
is
going to
always
provide
sales.
all of them
I'm
free
sorry.
tourniquets.
Sales is always
And
sales.
me with a cardboard house to live in. No, it's not. We actually talked about this earlier.
The cardboard from there.
I don't know what all they said, which is fine. I really don't like. There's very few things where I'm like, no, this is my word. This is what we're doing. It does happen occasionally, and it happens in a business context where I'm the guy that goes to prison if we mess this up.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to camp and tribe, I'm not that way.
No.
I will strongly disagree with people, but giving people ultimatums in a group setting is a really quick way to not be in a group setting anymore.
Yeah.
So
People don't
that's
like
a
that.
bad move.
A totally different person holds the hammer.
What's that?
A totally different person holds the hammer.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
The gavel.
Wise counsel.
Wise counsel.
Yeah.
Shalom, Bama Bugger.
It's no fun doing things yourself either. So.
No, it's better to be with people.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine not having people?
Yeah, you would be living conflicted the card game.
You'd be at the grocery store.
They're like, the next card is, if you know nobody in your area.
Oh, here we go. The economic collapse has happened. The infrastructure is gone and people are getting hungry. Your neighbors are starving and starting to scavenge, looking for food to feed their families. You have prepared and have what your family needs. How would you keep your stores safe as you use them and avoid becoming a target? So this is a real thing that we had to think about in suburbia, which is part of why we're not in suburbia anymore. But it's still a real thing you have to think about in the country. And so there's a couple ways you go about that. The first is you evangelize to the people who are around you. Like, what would you do to keep them from eating all your stuff? Well, if everybody's resilient, right? Everybody has some level of resiliency, some level of backstop. Excuse me. That buys every household time to do what? To spin up agriculture. And I live in the country intentionally, on purpose. I cannot get pizza or Chinese food where I am, and there's
Nice.
days where that sucks.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, a nice white pie. Yeah, dude, shit.
And that's
Beef
a
lo
white
mein.
pie.
Yeah. Right? It'd be awesome. But you know what I can't get in the city? Sheep, cows, real chicken, awesome people. And so we can produce things here that you can't produce in the suburbs. And everybody around here, the small houses, the small lots around here still have plenty of room for livestock and for gardens and row crops. And so our community, like the series of houses and properties in our immediate area, there's a lot of land and not that many people. That's awesome, population density. And so spin up agriculture is what I would do. We also intentionally have food that has been set aside simply for building rapport, simply for helping other people endure until agriculture can be spun up. And there's an element almost of warlordism in this, right? If you control the food supply, you can control people, but again, decentralized command. I don't like Sojourner for Christ. I answered that question on Patreon recently, like very recently. Did a whole video on how to build a berm at a range. $5 a month.
Absolutely.
And renting an excavator is like saying I'm renting a car. Are you renting a 1982 Toyota Tercel or a freaking Corvette? Because are you getting a 60-ton link belt or a 3-ton Bobcat? Because a 60-ton link belt you can put the 3-ton Bobcat in the bucket. So it depends. But as far as keeping people from starving to death, I'm prepared and my family has what we need. How would you keep your stores safe as you use them and avoid becoming a target? The reason you become a target is because your existence becomes abnormal amongst all the people. What's up, Ian McPhee? Long time no see, brother. Let's see. Your existence becomes abnormal around all the people around you. Well, the closer everybody's experiences to one another, the less abnormal you are. What's up, Tiago Gomke? In which case, you're not the outlier, so now they don't feel the need to attack you, right? Bobcat excavator. Okay, you can't make the berm very big if you wanted to. So I'd make it as big as you can. Secrets aren't fun. Secrets aren't so fun.
He's talking business.
Someone that's our friend on TikTok.
Someone that's our friend on TikTok.
He was talking about
She bought
putting
a
a
plate
plate carrier,
for her
a plate
daughter's
in her
backpack.
daughter's backpack.
Oh, yeah.
And how sad it is that she has to do that for her.
3 syllables. Low.
Okay.
Yeah.
If your children need armor, you live in the wrong place.
They live in
Sorry, out of
Oklahoma.
What part?
I don't know.
A city. Big
A city.
You live in
Yeah.
a city, so.
But yeah, that definitely. But this person has a bucket, not a bear pack.
Yeah, need a bear pack. If your kids need bear packs because they might get shot at school, you live in the wrong place. And I sell bear packs. So, your survival group of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You mean the people who are at my house for Thirsty Thursday tonight? Is isolated in the wilderness and has been surviving quite well. You are aware that there are other survival groups within a 5-mile radius of you. The first group consists of 18 people that are in the same situation that you are in, and the other group is a small mountain community of 50 that are struggling but holding on. These two groups are at odds with each other, and choosing one means siding against the other. You were thinking about establishing an alliance with these groups. Which group would you choose first, and how would you establish a relationship for mutual benefit? Met TC. Depends. I would be well aware of these groups. They're within 5 miles of me.
Jeez Louise.
That's close.
That's 10 minutes on a country road.
Yeah.
That's 4 minutes everywhere else.
That's
And that's,
super close.
Yeah.
I
30-minute
forget how
walk.
long it takes for us
Yeah.
to get to like the main road.
Yeah.
And I like in my mind it's like 2 minutes.
No.
Yeah.
And then every time people are like, no, it's like 15 minutes. Right? It's like 10 or 15 minutes. I was like,
45.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah,
that's
the
like-
warehouse is way far.
That's like saying there's 2 more survival groups within right here, and we weren't really aware of one another, and now we have to choose one or the other. It's like, first of all, I don't have to do shit. I'm gonna do what I want to do. Second of all, 50 starving mountain people doesn't sound like the group you want to be aligned with, unless there's high ideological alignment. And the first group consists of 18 people that you are in the same situation that you are in, like doing quite well. Okay, well if they got a beef, that's their problem, right? That's the other thing. Like, I don't know. What do y'all think? Thoughts? What do you think, babe?
I don't know. I
You don't
wasn't
know?
listening.
That
This
Cal
is
just joined the chat.
What do you think, babe?
we're gonna throw another
No. That's what I think.
Sorry, I got a little warlocky there.
Yeah,
from
sorry. Well, room's starting to spin with all the games.
Why? Why are you gay?
Why are you gay?
Oh my god.
Why are you warlock?
You was okay.
Who says I'm a warlock?
You are gay.
Not a warlock.
Okay.
Two mountain survival groups within 5 miles are starving, and I don't know. We gotta
They're
like
hanging
choose.
in there.
Okay, the words
Let's say
mountain
grab your
survival and starving.
Yeah. That okay.
Oh.
First of all, you're not a survival group if you're starving.
How
all
small
right?
is this
You're not.
mountain?
You're very bad at this. This is such a weird question
I
because
said we
like
need to
within,
write this. We need to write a
within
new version.
5 miles, like that's still our people. Like
Yeah.
that's a non-issue. I don't know. 5 miles is
5 miles and there's 50 people, we're gonna smell you.
Yeah, dude. Like first of all,
We're
Yeah.
gonna smell you.
there's not 50 people within 5 miles. Like 5 miles is my neighbor who brings me his beef. Like I don't know. I would probably put him to work. Like crops need to be tilled, and
Right.
so if you want to eat, here's some beans and here's some rice. Like you're not gonna starve, but you're now the sojourner amongst me,
Yeah.
and you're going to work.
I think you were saying is you know them already.
Mm-hmm.
If they're 5 miles away before
Yeah.
SATF, you know.
And
who
you,
they
Yeah.
are, you know
like,
them.
if you have a good area study, you probably know if
So-
they suck or not too.
Right.
Somebody asked another question. I think it goes off of this. Basically, if you feed people, then how do you handle them when you cannot feed them? And I think you kind of answered that. Like, if you're gonna feed them, they need to become a part of you, a part of
Right.
who you are. They're part. They become workers. They become a part of growing more food. They
That goes
become a part of
into,
everything.
like,
So you're gonna be able to keep feeding them.
Are you handing them a bucket and you say, okay, here's a bucket, you come back, it's gonna be a bullet? Or are you
Right.
handing them a bucket and saying you're now entering under my covering,
Yep.
and by entering under my covering, that means that like you answer to me, right?
Well-
And you answer to our leadership, and our leadership says like the crops have to be weeded.
So, 1
The
Timothy
idea
5,
of
verse 8, he who does not work has denied the faith and is worse than an infidel. That's in the New Testament. Yeah.
The idea in Babylon of covering what that means and the responsibility that you are engaged in when you promise to be somebody's covering is so foreign.
Yeah, Babylon doesn't know how to
Completely
cover their
foreign.
wives, let alone other
Right.
people.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like saying like I'm going to take a stranger in and put them under my covering, and the responsibility that the Torah puts on you for doing that is not something that the world even can comprehend.
Yeah.
That's literally
Shalom, brother.
it's a whole thing, and so yeah, I'd put them to work personally
Mhm.
myself if it seemed fitting for the situation. If they were like a bunch of heathenists that were up there building Asherim, then ta-da,
Rock pile.
Now that's a t-shirt
Have fun
waiting to
eating
happen
that.
right there.
ta-da,
Ta-da, rock pile.
How about some magic?
Now you see them? Now you know.
Oh,
I love it.
is Sanctified still here? Make me a shirt.
What's up, man? He's fresh from down.
Rabbit Hole just joined.
Bless you, brother. Thank you.
Roger.
Who did?
Roger
Rabbit
Rabbit
Hole? What's
Hole.
up, Roger Rabbit Hole? Ooh, do you feel that thunder?
I do.
Oh, nice. Andy Fresh Organic Microgreens
Yep.
ordered a multicam SOB Sunday night and got it today.
Nice.
Right on.
Aquaman.
Yeah, we probably shipped that like Monday
Monday
or
morning,
Tuesday,
yeah.
realistically. That's one of our biggest delays right now is actual shipping time
Yeah.
on the truck.
Yeah. It's
Like
it's in transit.
Yeah, our
That's the
fulfillment is
delay.
8 hours.
Orders come in at like 3:48, and we're like, hold on.
It was a cool indicator. We were in the
What's
office.
up, Tommy? Shalom, brother.
And,
By the way, got your check. Bless you, brother. I owe you a text. Bless you.
Um,
Thank you.
We're in the office, and our floor manager today literally was like running around. Was like, I have to send these kits out. I was like, Ty, they came in at 8 o'clock this morning. Like, it's okay. We can sit down for 10 minutes and have a meeting. He's like, I gotta get it out. I'm like, it's all right. I love your passion. Please sit down and talk to me. Stop working.
Oh,
so.
is that what he was doing?
Yeah,
this
that's what
morning
he
when
was
I had the meeting?
doing. Yeah.
See that? See, he kept the CEO
Shalom.
waiting so that he could ship your orders. Like,
Shalom,
that's
y'all.
awesome.
Shalom.
Shalom,
Shalom.
brother.
Love you, brother.
Oh, Joe Laura just said he wants to follow Torah, but he can't give up bacon.
No, he's
hold on.
tried his hardest.
Okay, hold on. So this is, it's simple but not easy. You've made your belly your Elohim. Knock that shit off.
Yep.
You made your belly your Elohim. Yes, your flesh is weak, but how shall I say this? Quit being a bitch. Just do it. Are you that undisciplined that you're going to consume an abomination that will provoke the Father against you because you just can't have your filthy swine? You just can't not cheat on your wife? You just can't not steal? You just can't not murder? Just can't. You don't understand. I just can't. I'm just so weak in the flesh. I just can't not punch little kids in the face every time I see them. You can. You're just trying to make it okay that you can't. It's not. Now, all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of Yah. Yep, amen. But shall we sin all the more? Should we continue in our sins so that grace may abound? No! Yah forbid. No, we're not going to do that shit. Stop doing that.
Have some discipline.
That's exactly right. From the mouth of Faux Daddy himself. Have some discipline, man. Discipline, which is something we talk a lot about around here. Discipline is your ability to keep promises to yourself. And a little bacon is fine. I'm sure a little whoredom is fine. How about a little murder?
How about a little sodomy? Like, where does it
Yeah.
stop?
How about a little hide user on channel?
Yeah.
There we go.
It's not.
How do you tell others about the need to prepare without making a target for yourself and inviting unwanted visitors in the future? Start a YouTube channel. Remove people at gunpoint from your property occasionally when they show up. You work. Yeah.
Based.
Yeah. How do you feel about AKs? You work in a large hospital and the world has been thrown into utter chaos. Unable to receive supplies in the foreseeable future, the hospital's current stock will only last for a few days. You mean COVID? Would you steal the remaining supplies for personal use and be prepared, or leave the supplies to be depleted by the public? I would start a medical company and have more stuff than the hospital does. So, no.
I'd call Refuge Medical. They probably have stuff in stock.
I wouldn't steal. Thou shalt not steal. Oh, this is fun. You were forced out of your survival retreat by an incoming hostile army. Now on the run, food and water are low. You and your survivalist friends can barely stave off hunger by foraging. One of your friends comes to you in need of advice. His spouse has decided she'll sell her body for supplies at the trade post in order to feed the children. Your friend is between a rock and a hard place and needs your input. What would your advice be? Some of these are too easy.
Be a man.
Thou
and
shalt
go get
not
fucking
commit
food for
adultery.
your-
Yeah, I mean,
Why
Yeah,
does your
man.
wife have to go be a whore to feed your children?
stack man.
We go back to covering there.
Yeah, that's a pretty shitty covering when your wife's like, don't worry, I'll let other men have sex with me because you were that bad at your job.
False.
Yeah. What's up, Romans 12:18?
Bruh. It's crazy that that's in a card game. Like,
I've heard that in real life.
because
yeah.
we've talked about that.
Yep.
Like, and people really do think about that. Like, they have that conversation with their wife. It's like,
Mhm.
I would die by the sword before
Well,
I
there was
let
a whole
my wife
movie.
do that.
Was
I mean,
there?
it wasn't technically like that bad, but it was the getting money. The what was the name of it? Indecent proposal.
Oh yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
was like, if for $1 million, would you let your wife have sex with somebody else?
No.
I
You-
mean,
you cannot worship Mana and worship Elohim. Like, I mean, dude, I'd die by the sword. Yeah,
you don't. See, the thing is, you don't have a wife anymore. You can
Yeah.
never look at her the same again. Like it's never gonna be the same
What
again.
happened in the movie?
Listen, I haven't seen the movie.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
In
Marriage
decent-
is never the same.
Decent proposal. They hoard.
Yeah,
So there you
so what you're
I mean,
saying
it's like from
is,
1989 or something.
what you're saying is the
I
Torah
wasn't born
is
yet.
true.
Wow.
Okay.
These guys don't eat pork. Is it about religion? No, it's about the Bible.
Sure, it's not about religion.
Sounds like Dad needs to provide based.
Yeah. With all due respect, I don't want to hear another word from anybody about how hard it is to quit eating bacon.
Right.
And I don't want to hear another word from anybody questioning our First Amendment God-given constitutional rights to do whatever the fuck we want when it comes to worshiping. Okay? If you say you support the Constitution, support the Constitution.
Based.
Otherwise, go away. Shut up. Okay? Cool. Also, Bear said bad words. Bear doesn't care. You know what Bear doesn't do? Rape children. So,
True. He does carry an axe.
Great job.
yeah, he has been known to purchase an axe or two as of late.
3 actually.
Three. Jokers. What?
There's actually jokers.
Describe the ideal post-apocalyptic community with less than 30 people. What skills would they have? What would their roles be? How would you run the camp if you were the leader? That's an actual question. How would you run the camp if you were the leader? We already talked about this. I wouldn't. I would let them run the camp. And then when they couldn't come to a consensus on something, I would provide executive authority. Other than that, I'll be on the track hoe or the shovel or the chainsaw or
You
feeding
often
the
don't
sheep.
even show up at meetings.
Yeah, but go back
That
to
is
the
correct. That is correct.
What's your
So true.
ideal community?
Everybody's independently wealthy trillionaires. We live inside of the mountain in Cheyenne, Wyoming, so that the Palladians don't attack us when the world ends.
What skills would that community have?
We'd be really good at Dungeons and Dragons.
Tracks.
For
For sure.
Yeah.
I am not playing.
World of
D&D.
Warcraft.
Good at rolling dice?
Yeah, warlock shit. We'd be really good
No.
at that.
Yeah. Best capes.
Casting
I'm taking a
judgments
nap
and
if y'all are
spells.
doing
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
We have a Dungeons
No,
and
agricultural
Dragons,
skills, communication skills, mechanical
Midwifery.
skills, midwifery, herbal medicine,
Engineering, building skills?
engineering and building, construction skills. Like we'd be good at doing shit.
Like, just, basically living life.
Yeah, we'd live life together,
Yeah.
like kind of like we do now.
And notice, YouTube, that he didn't say, like, tactically training, because
Nope.
that's your main priority. If you can't fix your front door, like,
Yeah, when the doorknob falls off, you can't put a new one in. Oh my God.
Yeah, you need shelter.
Yeah.
You need food. You need water.
Defense is extremely important, and you should be versed in that, but, like, that's not your priority. Like, your priority should be to be able to sustain a life that's worth living.
Yep.
There's a false paradigm in the prepping community.
They're gear whores. That's what it is.
It's a shizzle.
It's gear whores.
Best knife, best flashlights.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, best medical gear.
Flashlight can burn a hole through this wall. Why?
I mean, I did light a cigar with an Olight once.
I mean,
So-
there's reasons, but
There's that.
Yeah,
Right?
don't make sure that doesn't get turned on in your pocket.
I realize I've said the F-bomb a lot on camera lately, and I love y'all. I really do, and I think you guys know. I love Elohim with all my heart and with all my soul, and I do my best to love my neighbor as myself. And I'm just really low on patience on petty bullshit right now, because a lot of what we have been doing is like infinitely important, and I just don't like. My filter's never been very strong to begin with. It's extra super duper weak right now, so
Hey, it doesn't bother me.
it used to. So bless you, brother. So apologies if I offend any delicate ears, but like
Did you just say kiss?
I'm not-
What'd you do?
That was it.
I'm not good at self-censoring on a regular day. Not really so great at it right now. So you have run out of food, and your family is starving. The government will give you free food, but they require you to supply them with the names of 3 other survivalists in return. You know 3 others you can name, but you know that giving them the names will result in their homes being raided and all their supplies being confiscated by the government. What would you do?
You know, there's people
This-
5 miles away.
Yeah, there's 50 of them up there in them hills. So that's 17 food rations right there.
This whole game is like, hey, do you want to be a dick?
Scenario by Keith in Oklahoma. Thanks, Keith in Oklahoma. He must
And
be
we
in
should-
Tulsa.
and we should- We need to start another company because we started too many today to and make a new card game.
We should. Well, it's just called. It would be called Keep the Torah.
Yeah. At the same time, I'm like, make a card
Each
game.
card
And
has a
people ask me
command.
about those
Training
all
has
those
a card game?
cookbooks we were gonna do. They did once. I created
Yep.
it.
Training does have a card game. Yeah.
Wound cards.
It's like a wound methodology and a limb. Go.
That's cool.
Yeah. What?
I'm just thinking new products in the store.
He's trying to get me in trouble somehow.
This one's fun. Your home is attacked and marauders are dragging a loved one towards their vehicle. Both perpetrators are armed with pistols and you are armed with a semi-auto rifle. Based on your training and experience, you have a 50% chance of neutralizing the attackers or hitting your loved one. Would you take the shot or not? Yeah, 100%. I'm shooting those people dead.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
And then I'm training some more.
even if it's like 50% chance of you hitting your loved one or getting that guy, they're still taking your loved one if you don't hit them.
You
Like,
got dirt in your eye or
you
something?
have a 100% chance of losing them if you, like,
Yeah, if you don't take the
hit
shot.
them. So, like, why not take the
That's
shot?
good counsel.
That is a good counsel.
Yep.
Be based.
Yeah.
Like 9.
Yeah.
And if you hit your loved one, we'll render aid after we neutralize the threat, and we'll be okay.
And also go train, so
Yeah.
you have a better than 50% chance of shooting your wife.
Also, have people. If marauders are here, we're already set up.
Yeah,
with a
how did you
hasty
get?
ambush.
How are you dragging my wife into a vehicle and I don't know about
Yeah,
it?
first of all, Sam has already eaten 3 of your guys.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
these are so.
It's the last 2 guys.
Yeah, the last 2 guys
Yeah.
made it by Sam.
By the way, dragging my wife towards the vehicle, she's already shot you several times.
Yes.
So
So calm. Just, yes.
Yes.
you don't like to start your own channel.
I've never questioned whether.
Appreciate you, Saws. Appreciate you, brother. Wow, these are some crappy questions. What's up, Sammy? Disable the vehicle. That's not a bad thought.
That is not a bad thought.
2 members of your team are dying. The first person will die no matter what medical intervention you provide, but the second can be saved by surgery. Your friend has medical expertise but is confused on a few steps of the proposed procedure. If they're able to practice surgical procedure on the first person that is dying,
Oof.
it would drastically improve your chances on saving the second person. The group is at odds because the first person is not coherent enough to give you any input. As the leader of your group, how would you proceed and what decision would you make? I know Oh man, scenario by youtube.com/southernprepper1.
No way.
No way.
Yeah, man, look at that right
That
there.
is not a bad.
That's actually a
question.
good
Right Southern Prepper 1. Well, it's on the floor now. Yeah, look at
Throw it
that.
to the ground.
Scenario by youtube.com/southernprepper1. What's up, SP1? What's up, Dave? That's a good question. I know my answer to it. I'm curious to see what y'all say.
This is like one of those.
Okay, so
We're gonna have to get another deck.
I know my people, and our people would sacrifice like preservation of life, right? So that's our main priority. So if they're like, yeah, I'm gonna die regardless, do what you have to do to make sure the other person lives.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident that almost every single person in our group would say that. I know I would say that personally. So I don't know what you guys think.
Well, I think that's the caveat is like the person is too incoherent
Right.
to say, hey, yeah, go ahead and cut me open.
I'm giving you guys the
So,
pre.
But I think
We're
that's
having-
the whole like spouse
but I'm all for it.
scenario.
I would totally cut the person
Like, does
open.
your spouse know? Would you donate your organs? Like, to me,
Right.
if you're like an organ donor, you're probably feels kind of like the same thing.
Yeah, dude, if it's like, okay, Foe's hurt, right? He needs a kidney, but, like, I'm gonna die, and
Mhm.
either way, like, yeah, take my kidney. I'm cool with
Right,
that. Like,
Yeah, if you
I don't
absolutely
think that's
can't
going
save
super
the
well in
first
the field
one.
hospital, personally, but, like, if you guys got it, you can do it.
But we're we're a very different type of community. We're kind of all of the complete self-sacrificing nature.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could see like the last plate of food, like nobody would eat it.
Yeah.
Because they would always be expecting somebody else to eat it.
Dude, nobody will eat the last appetizer.
One
Is
deviled
anybody
egg
hungry?
left.
Is
And they're like,
anybody
no,
hungry?
nobody's taking that
You
last
sure you don't want
deviled
it? It's a boneless wing. It's really good.
egg.
It's like, eat the wing!
I will eat the last. I'm like, all right, deviled eggs. Here we go.
I watched him do it. I watched you do it the other
Yeah.
night when we were at the steakhouse. When I was watching you, I was like, "Who's gonna do it?" And you waited. You watched. You gave it a second, and then you were like, "All right, boom, gone."
I was
It came out of your arm.
You've never seen my arm off before?
That's
It
Frank.
lives right down here. Yeah, Frank the arm off. Yeah. Yeah, runs a computer store.
Working that printer down there.
He's working the
He's working the printer down there.
Gosh. You were like, watch, like, it's just Easter eggs, you know?
I
love it.
I know. One day it'll all make sense.
One day it will all
One
make
day
sense.
it will all make sense.
Today's not that day,
That's a
YouTube.
pretty specific. Somebody wants a very specific bucket.
I know, right?
A goat
I
bloat
saw that.
bucket.
Yeah, a goat bloat bucket has one 9mm round in it.
We'll send it to
Yeah.
The
you.
cat bucket.
For $140, I will send you one 9mm hollow point.
Isn't that the same
And
as the
a
cat
bucket.
needs a C-section bucket?
The cat needs a C-section. It's a 22 long rifle round. People are like, oh my gosh, how could you? It's like, you get a little bit of practice at this shit on a homestead, and sooner or later, you realize you take enough dying animals to the vet and they all die, and it's like, why am I paying money for this guy to kill him when I can just
we
kill
could have killed
him?
one cat, but
Already on the end.
instead of having one cat die, we had 9 cats.
I
die.
told you it was gonna happen. And you're like,
cents? $500.
yeah. And you guys were like, no.
No, it was more than $500 because we had formula and bottles
Yeah.
and
Oh yeah,
Warmers.
that was
We
just
want
the
to
vet
try
bill.
and save them, and I was like, I will do it for you, so you don't have to do it. I know it's tough.
it was our first pet ever.
I told you. I told you.
Yeah, they all died.
I
This
don't
is,
know.
this is decentralized command. I don't, like, I issue my advice, and then I just stand back and I'm like, hey, if your freaking cat dies, it's none of my business, alright? But if you need it to be dead, I can assist with that. Alright, back to the kidneys thing. I'm on the other, literally and figuratively, I'm on the other side of the table on this. How do we know that that first person is dying?
It says on the
The
card.
first
It
person will
says-
die.
Take the cards for example.
No. The first person will die no matter what medical intervention you provide.
Ooh, prayer.
Texas
100%
Y'all whips out miracles all
All
the
the
time.
time.
And so now we're going to go ahead and cut this person open and definitely kill him
Oh,
to maybe
dude.
save the second person. I'm out. I'm not doing that. Because the Torah is about the preservation of life. And we're not going to take one person's life to save another person's
Like as
life.
soon as they're dead, well, he can practice all he wants.
Like the whole camp meeting over this. Like everybody in favor of as soon as it's dead. Raise your hand.
If you had faith, this is
Go.
like, yes, dude, have faith.
Right, dude, like
You've already made the back plan.
You're cutting the guy's like.
Pulls a Lazarus, and we're like, oh shit, put it back, put the kidney back.
We're not bringing Lazarus into this.
Like, what are you guys doing? Go back to sleep, homie.
No, you were supposed to be dead. No zombies. Messiah's in the corner weeping. What the hell?
Kyle's here.
I thought you were my bros.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
A local law enforcement officer wants to join your group after the collapse. He's infamous in your community for serving his own kind of justice, and he is very unlikable and trustworthy. He threatens to label your group a terrorist cell and will expose you and your group if he is denied admission. No, would you allow him to join your group knowing he will try to take it over, or would you take your chances with his threat? Debate your choice with your team members. Counter ops. Oh man, I'm so sorry your cruiser ran off the road.
I was gonna say,
Did it say-
it doesn't exist anymore.
Did it say that after the collapse he was going to report us as a terrorist organization?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
the world's collapse and the FBI's like, we have violent domestic extremists running the streets, and he's like calling it in.
Yeah.
No,
No.
dude, you're smart.
Yeah, on his carrier pigeon.
Yeah, like we'll go tell the world, Jimmy the pigeon.
And like him, a single police officer coming up to our force and going like,
Right.
"I'm gonna report you." Like,
Yeah.
what are you gonna do about it?
Now, don't get me wrong. Big fan of For Constitution law enforcement. Big fan. But you should be friends with them before the collapse, not afterwards.
Know your sheriff.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a
and,
super
and the
useful
deputies
tool.
and
Yeah.
the local PD, like,
Hang out with them.
and
They're
maybe
cool.
some other ones elsewhere. You know,
Oh, that looks like some math.
that is literally some math.
Tomorrow's assignment.
Tomorrow's assignment.
Algebra 2 or something over there.
Fun.
Honors algebra too.
She had to flex on us right there.
She's like, it's not just algebra, it's honors algebra
Which way is the calculator?
that way. You need a Texas insurance. Your hunting party has been captured by an unknown number of well-armed men and are being held in a well-fortified location. The armed men offer to return your hunting party for half of your food supply. They're going to need Kenworths. Would you take their offer and avoid losing members of your group, or would you fight and risk everything? How would you handle this situation? Counter ops.
Okay, first of all, I will give them like an amount of food because they will not believe what half of our food supply is. They could not.
That's a good
transport
point.
half of our
Like,
food.
here's 12 buckets.
Yeah, this is all we can spare, man. And they're like, wow, this is a lot. You guys were prepared. Yeah, we did our best, you know. Please just have our guys back. And meanwhile, like, we are currently working up the op org for the counter op to just get the 12 buckets back.
Yeah. Well, because counter op starts the moment we hand the 12 buckets off.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And as soon as our guys walk over this way, that's when we have the L-shaped ambush set up. So
Yeah.
we have overlapping field of fire.
Yeah, and we're gonna get our guys and our 12 buckets back, and maybe some 4-wheelers or something.
Yeah, this isn't secret stuff. If you read the Ranger Handbook, you would know how to do this.
I gave David that today.
Good. That's a good
Yeah.
read.
I would say read and then do the Ranger Handbook.
So true.
Actually, I gave
Yeah.
him the Ranger Medic.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Kind of like the Torah, read and then do it.
Right.
You know.
I read a self-help book. How's it going? Didn't do anything.
Oh. So, here we go. Is ambushing and equal force fighting against you an intelligent move, or does that make you a less honorable adversary? No. No. Ambushing is totally on.
Tactics.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
That's on the table.
We don't want fair fights.
Yeah.
No.
I want the most unfair fight I can get.
Ambush
you
gives
never
you the
want to
step
fight
up.
a fair fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell
If
yeah.
you are fighting to win, it's not fair.
Back to just like Ranger Handbook stuff.
Yeah.
When you go in, you start the attack with your most destructive weapon, like immediately. Like, yeah, no fair fights. We want to go for every one guy they have. We want 10.
Yeah. Honorable. It's less honorable. I don't know. Is it less honorable than me doing a bad job and now you're like, raping my wife and eating my children?
Yeah,
Hmm.
that seems seems dishonorable.
How about we just do an ambush over there instead? Just saying. Martial law has been declared and the police and military are going house to house looking for food, water, and other supplies to confiscate. Your supplies are well hidden and would not be found through normal questioning and searching procedures. However, the official coming to your house is a relative and knows what you have. He informs you that it is his duty to take your supplies or arrest you and your family. How would you address this situation?
With a bullet.
Kill
It is
him.
100.
Cheyenne just said, with a bullet.
How many pairs of cuffs you got? Like,
Right, one guy against the
Is your-
5 of us and our family, he'd be dead.
Is your face made of Kevlar?
Right.
yeah. It's not.
Hey, did you see Rex is on?
Palmetto Paratrooper said I would be -1 relative.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's not a relative.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not a brother.
Family's not DNA. You know, not necessarily DNA. Rex is on here. Where's my brother Rex at? What's up, Rex? Green tips, New Hampshire prepper. There you go. A gang ransacks your place and their leader wants to take one immediate family member with them in order to avoid. Now, hold on. So this is a real thing. We're going to come to the historicity of this in a moment.
Okay.
A gang ransacks your place, and their leader wants to take one immediate family member with them in order to avoid retaliation from you. They overpowered you and currently have you and your family members all bound and defenseless. They leave it up to you to make a decision of who they'll take. Once they are gone, there are no guarantees you will ever see them again. Who would you send them with and why?
I know who I'm sending.
I know who I'm
You know who you're sending?
SK.
Oh yeah, she's getting back out for sure.
There's no question.
That is a great point. That is a great
Just said
point.
SK.
Yeah.
We have no problem. She's back in like 20 minutes.
Right.
If that.
That's true.
With the supplies.
That's a great
Sorry.
point.
With the supplies. Yeah.
Yeah. Just comes strolling back with a knapsack full of stuff.
Over the shoulder. Like, duck fed.
Like, hey, you're gonna need to clean that up. Shalom.
It'd be in a little fanny pack.
I told him not to do it.
Please.
Right, we need to have a talk.
We need to have a talk.
Cheyenne sending Caroline. They'll send her back.
They're taking it.
Please, no. I've had enough. She keeps asking to watch your tablet.
She wants to go now.
Oh, she keeps messaging me like,
She won't stop texting. She wants chocolate.
So they used to do this during like the early days of the Roman Empire. Warring factions, they would take hostages from the different factions in order to maintain peace. So like, you have 12 daughters and you have 12 daughters and you're at war with one another, and there's this kind of tentative peace that has been made. You're swapping 3 daughters each. And if you get out of line, heads will roll. And if you get out of line, heads will roll. So there's a thing for that. Like that happened back in the day.
I feel like they fought much nicer back in the day.
It was brutal until it wasn't.
Right.
They're-
They took their covenants and their agreements much more
Yeah.
seriously, I feel like, than our world does.
Prolonged warfare has never benefited anybody. If diplomacy fails, we go to war, and we go to war right now, and we either we're literally fighting for our survival. Either our clan, our tribe is wiped off the face of the earth, and we're done for. And I know if I fail that they're gonna rape all of our wives and kill all of our kids, and we're done. Or we kill those people. That's it. Like, and there's no like, you don't get to be a vineyard bitch. You don't get to be a sop and wet paper. You go to war. You go to war.
Or die.
Or die. That's it. And so, but it's not that way anymore. I would honestly, in that scenario, I would send my wife because she's gonna get out of there.
But, I mean, SK, like, she's just a younger.
She's just a younger version of SK.
Yeah.
But this whole scenario where they like broke into your house and overwhelmed you, and you didn't get a shot off, and now you're tied on the floor, like. Your last loved one in the world has contracted a deadly disease that can spread to you. To take care of her before she passes would certainly mean your death. But if you don't take care of her needs, no one else will. What would you do in this situation if this happened to you? There's a Torah for this. Sorry, babe, you got to live outside the gate for 7 days. Doesn't mean we can't hang out. Doesn't mean I can't bring you stuff. Sister Kate is awesome.
Pray for you.
Yeah, we'll pray for you.
Yeah. So somebody asked a question here, and I think it's she says, where is it? Something about what do women. Go back.
What's a women's role in prophecy?
Yeah,
it
that one.
seems like
It's all about the men.
what the men need to do.
Yeah.
What do you mean in prophecy, or do you mean
That,
in the Bible?
I think she's just saying like all of these scenarios where it was like the men do this, the men do this, the men do this. It's like, well, yeah, the men are supposed to be protecting.
Women don't go to
should
war.
Yeah.
Women biblically are not supposed to go to war. This is the
If we're shooting something's really
yeah.
bad's
We've
happened.
always said that around here. Our women know how to run weapons, but if they have to,
We failed.
we've messed up really bad. So a woman's value is not simply based upon her uterus. And that's something that a lot of the Hebrew roots Torah observant community gets incredibly wrong.
Yeah.
And they contort, they twist what it means to be in submission. Exodus 21 makes it clear that if a woman is without her covering, without her food, or without her marital rights, she can leave blamelessly. You don't hear that shit taught in a lot of Torah observant communities. But anyway, I digress. The role of a woman is incredibly important. She is the life giver. Man cannot reproduce without woman. She is the rib of a man, right? She protects your most inward parts. We've talked about this before. You have a broken rib, everything hurts. You can't do anything. A woman is also, she is your weaker vessel, but she's your wise counsel. And that doesn't mean she's weak. It means that you have to be stronger than she is. So if the Father has blessed you with a badass woman, that means at a minimum, his expectation is that you be this much more badass than she is. And a lot of men have abdicated that responsibility. They've been pussies and allowed their wives to be stronger to fill the role that they should be filling, but it was just easier for them to do it. And then what happens is that the woman ends up resenting the man because he's not doing his job as a man, and that creates tension in the home. And then now she doesn't want to submit because she feels like you're taking something back from her that you should have never given to her in the first place.
Right.
Because it wasn't her job in the first place. And it doesn't mean that women aren't badass. It means that they shouldn't have to be badass or die. That's a man's job. Be badass or die. That's like the agreement the Father made with man. Rule and subdue. That's the reason man was created. Rule and subdue. Woman's job, helpmeet, co-warrior, is to help the man rule and subdue. And the woman is to be in submission to the man as the man is in submission to Messiah. So if the man is not in submission to Yeshua, to Yah, you can always tell, oh, we're having these issues. Yeah, like my wife won't listen to me. I told her to do this and she's not listening. Yeah, well, what did Yah tell you to do that you're not listening to?
Right.
People hate that question. And they're like, oh shit, how did you know? Not my first rodeo. I've made those mistakes too. I've been there, done that. That's how I know to ask that question. So now there are a handful of badass biblical women. Yael, awesome.
They're often when the man wasn't around or available.
That's the thing though.
Yeah.
When there's no man in Israel doing the things that should have gotten done, then a woman takes it up. But there are badass women in the Bible. Oh gosh.
What you got?
Economic collapse has happened and the government forces are seizing all resources and searching the country for all nonconformists. You lead a well-hidden and prepared group of about 40. About a month ago, the group had a small family of 4, and now that family wants to return to town, which is a government-controlled area. This may compromise the group's safety, location, and possibly their lives. How would you deal with this situation and why? No. No, you're here.
Yep.
That's it. You're here.
You can sit over in the corner.
Yep.
Mind your
Why do
business.
you want to leave? What's the problem? Because you're too weak. Reports of an outbreak of a deadly version of the flu virus
Ooh.
have surfaced at a city 300 miles from you. This news is 2 days old and no treatments or cures are available at this time. The mainstream media tries to muffle the case, and alternative media is reporting a major disaster with dozens of deaths already. The reports from the different outlets are extremely conflicting. How would you go about investigating this further until you made a firm decision to bug out or stay put?
First, you buy a lot of toilet paper.
Hand sanitizer.
Buy toilet
That's
paper,
true. Right.
hand sanitizer, or
Right.
make your own with lots of alcohol.
Right.
Tequila.
Everclear, yeah, it'll work.
Go to Walmart and freak out like everybody else.
Or do it like 3 to 4 weeks before anybody else does.
Yeah.
I remember like
Remember
my
that?
back of my van and being like, I went to Costco today, and they're like, what's going on? Why is this sickness you're talking about? And I was like, no, this is just how my family shops all the time. Except for I did it like 3 days in a row.
Or just be prepared.
Or that.
Well, we were
Have
already
the stuff
prepared. We just
already.
got more prepared than we knew there was
Right.
potentially an issue. But I mean, how would you? What is it? How would you confirm that it's going on?
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
the question.
I mean, you send somebody and get intel. Like, but they're saying like they potentially could get sick.
Yeah, they're just basically the question is like, do you trust the mainstream media or the alternate media?
We
like
don't trust anybody.
Neither. Like
Yeah.
eyewitness reporting.
Yeah. We don't
No,
trust.
no.
I mean, I still would probably trust alternative media a little bit more. I mean, we did. We were
Yeah, back in
alternative
the beginning of
media.
2020, we bunkered down. We stayed put in the house. We made sure that we took precautions. We made sure that we wore a mask the first couple of months.
Yeah.
Because we had no idea what was going on. And then you see the charade and you realize what was going on. And you're like, yeah, we don't need to do this anymore.
I mean, we followed all of it. We followed the mainstream, we followed the alternative, and then we prayed and went with what was felt was right. I mean, to me, very quickly you learn what is right and what is
Mhm.
not. You know, the spirit's gonna totally lead you with like, yeah. I mean, I did the first couple times I went to the grocery store after everything went down. I had an N95 on,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
But
Well, that's a good point because
6
for
weeks
the
later, I was like, eh.
Yeah, then the news started pounding. And you're like,
Yeah, the worst thing you can
Yeah.
do is tell me to do something as the
Yup.
media. And I'm immediately like,
why
no.
do they say you do the opposite?
Based on my research, I did it, and then you told me I had to, and then I was like,
nah.
yeah.
I'll tell you
Don't tell me
what.
which way to walk in the
Oh my
supermarket.
god.
When they were like,
Oh,
you can
the
walk this
arrows?
way, but the arrows. Oh my gosh, the
I remember
arrows.
Liz got yelled at one time.
Oh yeah, the arrows in the supermarket where you could only go like one way down each aisle.
Oh yeah, I got yelled at too, and
I
I told
used
him
to
to
yell
F
at them.
I
off.
would just pull the cart backwards.
I'll tell you what.
And they say go the wrong way.
Pulled the-
Now I'm facing the right way.
Every one of those COVID Nazis can kiss my ass,
Mhm.
and I've been saying that for
We've lived
years.
through it. It's
Yeah.
kind of crazy.
You know what? We've been doing this for 2 hours, and
Yeah.
so I'm done. It's a school night. We gotta do stuff. So, appreciate y'all. I'll see you in the morning. We're gonna do the brief, and yeah, that's it. Thanks for hanging out with us. Y'all have a blessed day. And it's National Preparedness Month. Do stuff. Shalom.
Get prepared.